All right, everyone. Welcome to this week's weekly software workshop. We'll go ahead and let the attendees list here slow down a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So just give us one more minute here, and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, that attendee list has started to slow down, so we're going to go ahead and get started for today. As I said before, welcome to this week's weekly software workshop. My name is Nathan Wells. For those of you who I have not talked to before, I'm the manager of customer success here at eTruckBiz, and so I wanted to welcome you to our weekly software workshop. These workshops are super informal. If you've been to our workshop, or I should say our webinar on Tuesdays, this is going to be a little bit different. We do make it so that you can unmute yourself and ask questions as we go. So please feel free as I'm going. If I'm going too fast or you have a question about something, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask that question, because I'd rather you ask it in the moment than have a dying question that you'd like to have answered and then happen to forget it later on. So please feel free to unmute and ask questions. I'll also check the chat and the Q&A as well. So with that in mind, excuse me, today's topic is a little impromptu because we do have a new P&D driver app that is going to be coming out within the next week or so. So we wanted to give you guys an all-new sneak peek of the new eRoute routing system. So we are going to go into that today, show you what the new system looks like, what your driver is going to have access to. If you are a subscriber to eTruckBiz, your drivers have access to it. So we're going to go over that today. And then here's some more things we're going to go over. Next week, we're going to do a monthly recap of all the stuff we went over this month. So we are going to go over the calculators and some other things we went over this month. So if you missed something, that's a great webinar to come to. And then this next month, we are line haul specific. Okay, so we've over the course of the time that eTruckBiz has been around, we've been slowly adding line haul utilization into the system. So for next month, we're going to go deep dive into some of the line haul specific items that are in our system. And just as a general housekeeping, here is my contact information. If you have comments, questions, suggestions for the software, please let us know so that way we can get it in there for you. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and share a phone. Okay. So up. See here. For some reason, my screen mirroring is having a moment. One second. Like it doesn't exist. You been having that issue, Ken?
I haven't been able to. I haven't pulled anything up today. I've been working on some other stuff, so.
Okay,
But I got
again here.
I'm in the driver app now, though. So.
Yeah, I've got that pulled up. My screen mirroring for some reason has just decided that it doesn't want to do it. So 1 second here. I'm connected to my actual internet. Sometimes it thinks I am and it's actually not. There's Zoom. Just decided it didn't want to work today. There we go. Okay, Zoom's a little behind today. Sorry about that. So this is going to have a little bit of a difference to it. If you can see my cursor, this to-do list is going to change a little bit visually. This is not the most recent update version. that will hopefully be out and I'll be able to show it to you guys another time. But this is a new checklist, to-do list that is going to show on the main screen of the dashboard. This is really convenient, and like I said, it's going to change a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of visual changes here, but what's really great about this is it gives your drivers a visual of, have I clocked in, have I clocked out today, have I done my pre and post trip inspection, have I done my safety? So they can click on that. So if I click clock in, it's going to take me to my clock in area, and they can go ahead and do it. So I'm going to go ahead and clock in. You can see what it would look like. That timekeeper has also changed as well. So for those of you who have been, your drivers have been using our timekeeper, it does look a little bit different now. They can see today's time clock, when they clocked in, they can start on road and take a break. And then down at the bottom now, you can see their timesheet. So this is where they can go in and see their history of their timekeeping records, and they can click into them. And see when they went on duty and things of that nature. They can also, there is now also a geofence. So I think a couple people had asked for there to be geofences that you can set for a particular driver to clock in at home or to clock in at the terminal, things like that. So that does exist in there now as well. But if I go back to the main dashboard, and the menu changed, so there's been quite a bit of a facelift to the P&D driver app. So the menu has changed as well. If we go back to the dashboard, it's going to show me that, yep, I clocked in, so that is good to go. As the day goes through, they're going to see these get checked off, and they can complete those. You can, like, if I click on tap here to complete your pre-trip, it will take you to your pre-trip inspection. If I click tap here to clock out, you can go in there, clock out, and it will tell you you did. So that's something that's really nice for the drivers to be able to do. And if they click tap here to complete your safety, it'll take them to their safety training that they have to complete, okay? All right, but you all came today to see eRoute, okay? So there's two ways that they can get to their routing. This area right here is for eRoute. This will be in a box. This is going to visually change a little bit as well with the release, but this is where they can get eRoute on the fly. They can also do it in the menu as well, so they can go to eRoute from there, but I'm going to do it from this main screen so you can see what that looks like, okay? If you have a default work area set for them, or you have in the boss system, then your driver set up to only see routes that they're logged into on their scanner, this will show what that route is default set to, okay? So this particular contractor has two different service areas, and he does not have his driver set up to only see their route that they're in the scanner or have default route set. So we're just going to choose one. Okay, so if I switch to service area, I try to go to a work area that's active. Okay, and I click view stops. It's going to retrieve the data directly from the FedEx API, and it's going to show you the route. Okay, so for those of you who have seen our eRoute before, this is going to look very, very, very different as compared to what it used to look like. Okay, some things that have changed. All of our pins have been modernized, so now they're no longer the square pins; they're all round. We also changed it to create a larger map for the drivers who wanted to just see the map view. If they do want to see a list of their stops, they can go down here and click P&D stops. And it is going to show them that list on the left-hand side. So it is collapsible, and you can see just the map, or you can see the map and the list. It also does default to showing you all of your stops that have been completed, as well as the ones that are still needing to be done, okay? What I will show you real quick, there is also a couple of new features on here. If you go to where it says layers, this is going to give your drivers some options to kind of customize how they want that map to look, okay? So it gives them a couple of options. They can turn off the certain stop pins if they don't want to show anything but time definite stops. they can turn all of these off and all of these pins will come off of the map other than the time definite pins. Okay.
Something to
So for
that,
instance, let's
Mason.
say, yep,
And that's the one thing, especially when you've got the 1030s, that your drivers will really like to take advantage of that, because at that point, right, if they've just got from 9:30 to 10:30 to get those 1030s off, they might just want to look at those and concentrate on those. I think that's a good way to help them do that. So that this customization fee is a great advantage to the eTruckBiz program compared to anybody else out there. Thanks, Mason.
yep. Yep, and they can see a list of the time definite stops down here, and I'll show you that in a second. So you can, isolate those out from the list as well. But I'll go ahead and show you a couple of things. You can turn off the completed stops. So if your drivers, all they want to see is the things that they have not completed yet. As you notice, all the little gray pins came off the map, and now all you see are the red pins, which are not completed yet. And all these orange ones are time definite. They either are like a timed pickup or they are time definite for that express volume that you guys will be over the course of the next year, 2 years or so here, you'll be starting to see come into your operation, okay? If you open layers back up and you want to see, this is currently street view. If you want to switch from street view to satellite, they can do that. That is really nice to have if your drivers want to be able to see, how many houses away they are, things of that nature. That does exist now, where they can switch over to satellite view. And for those of your drivers that are on Android devices, they can also see traffic. On the iOS devices, we have not quite figured out how to get that traffic mode on here yet, but that will be coming. We'll just switch back to satellite. You can turn the legend on and off. So this is what's really nice about the new eRoute. So you can turn this legend on, which will tell you all the different types of pins that will show up on this map. And you can leave it on and it just kind of hovers down here. Once your driver gets used to eRoute and they know what all those pins mean, they can turn that off. So it defaults to being off. If they want to turn it on so that they can see what they're doing and what's on the map, it can be turned on and turned off when they're good to go, okay? So that's something that has been added as well. Let's see, the stats used to be in eRoute before as well. Now they're up here in the corner. You can see for this particular route, this particular driver has been on duty. It says for 5 minutes. I'd say that's probably, they must have clocked in, realized they had not clocked in and went ahead and did so. On-road hours, 2 hours and 57 minutes. Their estimated last stop. So this is something that shows up in the Optics app for all of you who have been using that. We did add it for the drivers. So if they continue to complete all of their stops that they have left to do today with the stops per on-road hour of 24.4 stops, they will complete their last stop at 6:06 p.m. Okay, so that's a good, some people like to see that. I know for BCs and AOs, you guys like to see that for all of your drivers, but for this particular driver, they can see that as well.
Hey, Mason,
do have, yep.
you switch to Route 207 after you go through this. He's got like 6 late packages, air packages, express packages. So I think that might be something would be good, because this current driver that you're on doesn't have any late express packages, but Route 207 certainly does.
Okay, can do.
Thanks.
Yep. The stops, it does tell them how many they've delivery, time definite, and pickups they have to do. It does show them a progress bar so that they can see how far they are for the day. And then it does give them some KPIs for themselves, what their current ILS is, what their goal for the stops per hour are, if you have that set in our system, and how many exceptions they have. So, what was the route? It was 207.
207, yeah. Let's.
Was it in the other service area?
Yeah. No, it should be. Yeah, 303. Yeah, 592. Yep.
All right, there is that map. So remember, we can turn on this legend and we can see what some of these pins. So this yellow urgent time definite delivery stop, you can see that. There are some white pins over here. These are exceptions. Okay. So the bright, these yellow stops, if you click on it, this is what it looks like for you. Here and there you go. So this yellow 81 deliver by 13:30.
It's a weird time.
It's a very odd time.
God damn, that's a weird time.
It'll tell you that it's urgent, meaning that time is coming up shortly. I'd say it's past that, because that is 1:30. We go out to one of these other ones. We've got one over here.
That's stop 49.
Yep. Yeah, that one's late. So yellow on the optics app and the driver app are those are going to show you that something is either due within the next 30 minutes, or in this case, it's already passed. Okay. If we go down here to this TV stops tab down here, you're going to see when it starts to come up on 30 minutes before and then obviously after, these alert blinkers come up, it highlights it, and it tells the driver when it's due by. If we scroll down here, he's got some other ones that are obviously not due for a while. There's another weird 13:30. And not completely different stuff. You can scroll down through those. This is doing it by stop number. So if you see right here, it's showing this particular driver this list of stops by stop number. You can also toggle this over to do it by time. So it would show all of your timed delivery stops in order that they're supposed to be delivered by as well. So that'll be a helpful way of making sure that your drivers are getting those done in the time that they need to be done by. These are not good. These are late. Okay. Let's see. We scroll out here a little bit. So when you click on one of these stops, so I clicked on 49. Pull that back up again. Okay, so I pulled up this particular stop 49. This one was delivered by 12 o'clock. If you notice, all of our SID numbers now are color coded. So that's also going to be in the optics app as well. Nice and big here, the delivery number, how many packages, and all of this information shows up on top of the map. We did add the ability for you to add stop notes as well. So this is really nice when a driver, any of your drivers go to this particular stop and it's on, like say it's on somebody else's route one day, they're going to be able to see those stop notes right here. They're going to show up right here under notes. So say I wanted to add a note for this particular stop, it would have the identification, which comes from FedEx because it's a stop note for a stop that already exists. It's going to have the Latin Lounge. If this stop is not necessarily where it's supposed to be, if the driver is where it's supposed to be, they can click geocode and it will plot that pin correctly. And then it's going to ask you what type of stop note this is for. This, in this case, it's a delivery stop. They can also choose from pickup as well. And then something else that's really great in here is they can add the note. They can flag it as important. So if like a driver is trying to make a note that there is a vicious dog or something at that house, they can flag it as important. It'll let the driver know that it is an important note on the call out back here. And they can also take a photo. So if there is a specific stop that has multiple gate entrances or something like that, if there's a specific gate that you guys need to go through, you can put the gate code in here and take a picture of the particular gate. so that way they know which one to go to, okay? That is something that has been added. Any questions about stop notes or anything you've seen so far before we go further?
Does everyone think that photo, especially for those of you that have dog bites, which if you're in the business, I would imagine everybody has had at least one with one of their drivers, but just be able to take that picture. Or if you're in a heavy, industrial area and you've got to go to the back of a warehouse that's in the back of the back of the back. Now you can take pictures, add those in there, and they'll just make the delivery for the next person that much easier.
Because anytime then that address comes up again, those notes automatically are attached to that stop. So that was our goal with helping your drivers and your replacement drivers be able to achieve the delivery requirements.
Very quiet group today, gentlemen. Some things you can also do in here. So say let's just pick a stop that does not necessarily have time definite related anything. So I'm going to choose stop 119. You can click navigate, and it will take you out of the app and take you to Google Maps so that they can get turn-by-turn directions. This is really great for new drivers if they happen to not know exactly where that stop is. They can go ahead and get out of there and get it to talk to them and tell them to turn this direction, turn that direction in 500 feet. If they click track, it's going to pull up the FedEx tracking information. So again, this is what used to be in the Optics app. It's still in there. Now the drivers can also click track as well. This is the consumer side, I guess, is what you would say. This is what the person who's getting the delivery can see, is that tracking information. So they can see that. There are, if we turn the complete stops back on, I'll show you something. So any of these ones that are complete, and this goes for drivers and also the Optics app as well. If you click track, it will pull up that it was delivered. And in some cases, if they took a picture of it, the picture will show up in there as well. Okay. Let's see if I can find one that could possibly have a picture. Track. Oh.
Maybe stop 72. Oh, no, it's not done yet. Never mind.
There are a couple of these too. So if you click on this one that had an exception, there's stop 27, and it is in white because it had an exception. Okay. Track it and see what the exception was. We tried to deliver.
This heavy business route, so it might not have any residentials. And there's
a residential. Let's see if they took a picture. What's great about this, there's the picture. So what's great about this, not only on the driver app, but also on the Optics app, is that you guys can go in there and audit your drivers taking these pictures, okay? Because FedEx is going to do that. They're going to try to make sure that these pictures are accurate. I've seen a lot of times where I've gotten in here and the picture is of nothing. So getting in here and making sure that those pictures are accurate and show where it was delivered is important, okay? So this is just something that is in the driver app as well as now it's in the Optics app as well.
also from the boss system as well now too.
Yep, it is in there as well. And as you can see,
trust but verify.
Yes, trust but verified. Let's see if I can go. So, okay, so here's that exception, that 4. Here we go. So here's all the information. It tells you that there's no signature required. The customer requested main entrance, front desk. Monday through Thursday before 3 p.m. Right there. Okay. And it does tell you when they scanned that exception. So this particular delivery stop was number 4. And the code is an 04. Delivery stop number 4, they scanned it 18th at 10:10 a.m. Eastern. That will tell you there as well, so the drivers can see when it got scanned as well. And that is all coming from the FedEx API, okay? So that is coming directly from their scanner. All right. Yeah. Down here at the bottom, if you click directions, this is going to give you turn-by-turn directions from where you are to this particular stop, okay? So it's going to tell you turn right again, the step-by-step directions. If you click next stop, so what's really great about this is the concept of your drivers following the manifest. If they start on one stop and they need to go to the next one, they can click next stop and it will take them to the next one. And at this point, I've got the directions pulled up, so it's just going to pull the directions up to the next stop. You can click next stop again and it'll take you to the next one.
Hey, Mason,
So there's a
question
lot
for
of
you.
different ways that your drivers can do it. Yeah.
How often or how quickly is the right word? I'm not sure. Does the API update?
So there's 2 ways you can do that. So I can click this refresh button.
Right.
And it will refresh the route, and within seconds, it can pull up the route.
So
Okay?
I might be not,
So
I might not be asking the right question. So I don't mean the routing necessarily. What I mean is the FedEx information. So if we said to them, check on your picture or something like that, conceivably it's between, I don't know, 0 and 5 minutes, or when that will update. Or is that because it's not live, right? The API with FedEx. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, it's live. No, it's
Yeah,
live.
it's live. That's
I didn't
live.
realize that. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, great, guys. Thank you.
And the other question you had was, will the notes show, or do you have to click on it to read the notes the drivers leave? No. So if you are going, say you've got a stop pulled up like this, the notes are going to show here, okay? So if there was a note for this route, you don't have to go to add note to see it. It will show up here. Okay. These just all don't have any notes yet. So that's why there's no notes showing up in here. But if we were to add it, it would show up on there. Being as this is live data, though, I'm not going to add a note for him. Okay. And it's as simple as clicking refresh to refresh your route. You can, as I was mentioning, there is one other way to do that. If you go into your app settings down here, you can set the app to automatically refresh the data every 15, 30, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So if they set that to update every 15 minutes, they may not be pulling up their eRoute every 15 minutes. They may know their next 10 stops, and so they're going to just go ahead with their route. By the time they get back into the app, it will have updated based on the API, as long as it was 15 minutes after he was last in there. So it can do that for you, where it'll update it for you. So there are 2 ways to go about doing that. Will this new update be available by June 1st? That is our hope. That is our plan. We're hoping to get it out as soon as possible. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see what else is in here. If they click this little arrow here, it will minimize the actual the stop information that comes through, like the phone number and signature and all of that. If they don't need that in particular, they can close that out, and it will give them a little bit more screen space to see that map. And they can also close that out as well. So let's see. If we go to TD stops again, it looks like one of them got completed. Now, which one? One of them did. Let's see. Okay, so you see right here, delivery number 47. It was delivered 69th. It was late. So that was one of those delivered by noon, and it ended up being delivered by 11:37. So that is something you can also see in the optics app as well. When you've got your routes pulled up and you want to look at those time definite delivery stops and you want to see all of that information, you can see when a stop was completed based off of when it got scanned into the scanner. And that's one that's really big for especially time definite stuff, making sure that the drivers are closing those stops out, okay? Because if they deliver the stop at, say it was due at noon and they delivered it at 11:57, but they didn't close it out on their scanner until after 12, that can cause issues too. So just making sure that we're closing stops out when we're supposed to and getting those time definites done on time is a big, big deal. Okay. Any other questions this far? I've had a couple. I just wanted to double check if there were any other questions. Any questions about what else might be in here? What are the things you guys would like to see in here? Also, this is a new piece of the software. Do you think your drivers would use it? Andy, you unmuted yourself, so I'm guessing you have a.
Yeah.
Our goal here, our goal here definitely is to give your drivers a valuable tool that can help them accomplish what they need to accomplish and prioritize the time definite shipments, which is definitely lacking in this marketplace. FedEx does not provide anything. And like you said, just to prioritize just those 1030s has become important, and it's useful now as it is. This even makes it better. I think that the stop notes will absolutely translate from driver to driver as well. So we had a check.
Yeah, Mason, on that, the terrific, this is terrific, this stuff. And this may be a management, you may be getting to this down in part of this discussion. I don't want to interrupt, but I know you had that great availability for our team our leadership to watch the drivers. It was a list it was agnostic to the route. It just said, these are the times and these are stops that had to be done. And we had talked about perhaps getting the pickup windows into that as well. Is that still on the list? I just wanted to ask.
The pickup windows.
So in other words, you guys for the BCs, you had the ability for them to look at every time sensitive stop so they could watch them. I thought it was a terrific tool. And then one of the things that I'd asked was, could the pickup windows be included in that? Because that's the other time sensitive. That's really important if we miss them. And I was just wondering if that is on the list or had been talked about or anything else. So just if it's not, we just look into it. That's all. But I think that
so in the optics app, there is a way to filter through like the different times. Right. So like you could filter out the 10s, the 12s. There is another filter there towards the bottom of that says other time commits that would show you those windows. It would give you the ones that have just windows.
Right, but it's just not. What I meant was that we'd have the time commits, which are, to me, it doesn't matter whether it's a window or delivery, it's a time commit. It would be great if that was just so easy for the BCs to just, here's the time commits, stay on top of these, not have to go to different screens. And I thought we because I think this is all terrific. So this is not a complaint. I don't want to come across the wrong way, but I thought we kind of chatted about it. And I was just wondering if that was still on the list or.
Yeah, I think that is, Andy. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We wanted to make it on the optics app, just like you have the preload on road time commits admin.
Yes.
We wanted to add the pickups up there. So, and that they could search those. So that would be a release on the optics. And I thought we were working on that. So we just haven't had any new optics app releases lately.
No problem. So. This is terrific. No, it was just a question. I'm not taking anything away. Really, really good. Thank you.
Not taking it as negative, so, but I
right,
remember you
thanks.
asking that before, so.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a question. So yesterday, one of my drivers, he was out delivering and his battery just went like, I don't know, it was draining fast. So in the meantime, until I got out there to bring him a battery, he was delivering the packages. And so with his phone, he was taking pictures of the labels. So then this way he can scan them into the scanner once I got him a battery. So with these time commitments, what happens to it? Like he delivered, let's say he delivered it on time, but he didn't have his battery. So you know how like you have to write it on a hand sheet, or so how does that work? Anybody know?
Would think it's still gonna show as late if that, because it doesn't have the scan time on it to verify it. It'd be something that you'd have to work with the station for an exemption if it was a battery situation, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
on
so
here
the
it's going to
pictures,
show as late. I mean, because we didn't have, you know,
Right.
if he scans them into the scanner, it'll show the late time and stuff, and then you'll just have to, like Ken said, dispute that with the terminal.
okay. So if, because you know, on your phone, when you take a picture, it does take it in real time. So I can just then print out those pictures and say, here, these were delivered before the time. We just had a situation. I would think that would work, right?
I think it would, maybe that's, then we add to our morning checklist, extra batteries as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, usually I don't know what happened because I do have a charger docking station on the trucks. I don't know what happened, but his battery drained and I was just like, okay, let me just I had to get out there, but it took me like, you know, 25 minutes to get out there.
Yeah, and Ken, I don't know if we've had that come up with anybody that's been doing the time definite.
I have not with batteries, but yeah, you know, that's, I'm wondering right now, I'm texting this guy to see what happened out of Hermitage today. Because obviously this person that we're looking at is having extreme difficulties with their time definites right now. So I'm seeing what's going on there. And I just looked at his 10:30 deliveries. He was 8 of 14 on the 10:30 deliveries. So, and he's been 100% for a long time. So, oof. And 38 of 55 on the noons. Yeah, it's an ugly day in Hermitage.
And don't let one day kill you. One day could, you know, you lose $3,000-4,000.
Yep. And it will kill you for the week, like today, if he's got, so he's got 17 late. That's enough to ruin him for the week.
Yeah, here's a couple that are noons. Here's a noon. Here's a noon. This one still hasn't been delivered, but this one was late and this one was late. This one was supposed to be 47th and this one was supposed to be 48th. They did this one 69 and this one 68th. So typically when that happens, that's because the driver's driving around doing the route the way they want to do it. Even though they may have made it if they would have done them in this order, 47, 48. I mean, heck, 49 might have been done yet.
I have one more question.
You're fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for safety. So before, like when the guys sign in, is there any way safety pops up first? So this way they have to do their safety in order to go to the next screen level? Because I'm finding that some of these guys just like swipe it away and then come to find out later, like they have 2 or 3 that they haven't done and I have to get on them for that.
On the preferences, correct, Mason? in the
Yep,
boss?
that is something that is coming. So in the boss system, there under preferences, there is an area where you could make it so that they have to, you're requiring the driver to complete safety before they can do anything else.
Yes,
And that is something that we will be adding.
because it's just less stress to think about it.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you want them to do it
Yeah.
and they're not going. What's good now, if they want those turn by turns, they have to do something to get something. And they're a lot more willing to do something if they want something. Just like a little kid
Absolutely.
or a grown man. So
Could is pre-trip in that preference that they can be checked to be forced to do pre-trip? That they can't move on unless they've done it?
I think that's also can be in the preferences as well too that we're adding. So
Great, thanks, Ken.
and it looked like fixing a missed plot. Did you see that question?
I did. Can you fix a missed plot? So
Yes.
say I am, yes, you can. Say I'm here at 112, okay? And say I'm actually, say 112 not actually there. Say it's over here in this field, okay? If you're pulled into this field, you can click, because we're on this particular stop, being we're on 112, you can click add note. And if you are in that field where that stop is supposed to be, they can click geocode and it will drop the pin in the correct spot. And they click save and close and it will move it. Yes, John, you can fix a missed plot. Does he still get paid for making the TV stop, just not the bonus? Correct. So Andrew, you were asking, does he still get paid for making the time definite stop, just not the bonus? So Ken, you might be able to answer that better than I can.
Does he still get paid for making the time definite stop? Yeah, you still get paid for making those stops. Yeah, you just don't get the bonus pay. So
yeah, so if you don't hit your service number, and it's for the whole week too, so you can have good days and bad days, right? But it's for the whole week. If you miss that service by 0.1%, you do not get the bonus money for the whole week.
But you will get paid
yes,
for the
you still get your
pay,
stop pay.
whatever your stop pay is.
We highly recommend you get them on time because that extra money is really nice to have. John, can the BC fix the missed plot even if they aren't in the route as well? No, unless they, so if the BC went in here and went to add note and they found the latitude and longitude for the particular stop you're talking about, like where it's supposed to be, they could type it in. But they couldn't click this geocode button and get the latitude and longitude for it. So they could go in and find it, because you can Google the lat and longe of any. If you go into Google Maps and you drop a pin, it'll give you the latitude and longitude. So they could go in and fix that way. But as far as using this geocode button, it is specific to the device that you're on. So if they click that and they're, say, at the terminal, it's going to put the pin at the terminal. Hopefully that answered your question, Mr. Speed.
So you don't have to call anybody to get it. You can do it yourself, saving time.
Yes.
How efficient.
Exactly.
Any other questions, comments, concerns, feedback? Because we like feedback. Other things you'd like to see in here.
So
Things that your drivers would like to see in here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
So Mr. Rod, the pickup, that's the next focus. The pickup windows and especially the on-call pickups, that'll be the next hotspot. We've committed to our friends at FedEx to do some more stuff with that as well. And that won't take too long. But that's going to be that's a little bit of a bigger deal because those get added as the day goes on, right? So, but that's coming. That's next.
Next question was, is a
And
navigation
Mr.
system
Speed, is the
independent?
navigation system independent of FedEx navigation system? Yes. So if you click this navigate button, it's the native Google Maps on your phone. Hope that answers your question.
Wait, where's that? Is that in the chat?
Yes.
Mr. Speed's asking that. Well, what are you asking? Can you open up his microphone?
He has to unmute himself. There he is.
Hey, Jeff, I was just asking that because in the past you guys were part of the navigation and the plotting that FedEx had, on your old navigation system. And now I knew when we could change a plot that maybe that can obviously change.
Well, I'm wondering what the question is. So let me say something else here.
Okay.
And maybe this is what you're trying to ask, or I'm going to tell you something. When you get time definites, for sure, but in general anyway, we know from our friends at FedEx that they're going to dissuade in a huge way the ability for drivers to alter their routes. Now, does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't want them willy-nilly going wherever they want to go. And it's a tap dance in the manner, method, or means zone. Is that what you're asking? Can the drivers make up their own routes? Is that what you're asking? Or not?
No, I wasn't asking that question. No.
Okay. All right. I thought maybe that's what it had to do with it. Never mind.
I think you were kind of asking what routing system is it? Is it Google Maps or something like that? Is that what you were asking, John?
Well, I wasn't, but that'd be nice to know.
I get the Nostradamus.
It is good.
So Mason, is this Google, when you get navigation, that goes to Google Maps, right?
Well, it's whatever you're on.
Yeah.
So if you're on
Well,
Apple,
so yeah, so
Apple.
it's either, so in this situation, if you click, okay. So if you click navigate, it's going to take you out to Google Maps. If you click directions down here, it's going to give you, this is Apple's, the directions.
Okay.
So it's giving you based off of like Apple is, and then if it's on Android, it's your Android system that is giving us the turn, like the go this far, turn here, go this far, turn here. Any other questions, comments, concerns, feedback?
Hey guys, this might be the wrong forum. I'm not sure, but with basically almost all of us that are on this call, and I can tell you, I've already started working with our team to transition this because I think this is a superior product. But at the same time, we all know change is not necessarily what people are good at. And I find especially folks like our drivers, they're comfortable with what they have. And so I don't know if this is something we can work on together, but just explaining to them sort of what's in it for them, the features and benefits of why we want to change and what we're doing and something like that. So you may already be working on that or, showing why this is, because I find the work I've done with our BC or the BC that does this seems far superior to what we have with Ground Cloud. I'm not saying everything is perfect, but it's really great. And we're just I don't know if struggle is the right word, but we're going to get to a point where we're going to tell them too bad you're using this, but I'd love to come up with a way working together perhaps to show all the reasons why this makes their life better, what's in it for them. So just the thought I wanted to throw on, because there's a lot of people on this call that are really smart, not too hard to be smarter than me, and come up with things that maybe we've all come up with to help the team understand why we're going to use this. Just a thought.
I like that suggestion a lot, because they fear getting rid of ground cloud, the owners do, and because the drivers have gotten used to it, love it, and everything else. But meanwhile, here's a friend and and it's fantastic now. It's even better when it comes time for the time definite stuff that everybody's going to be experiencing sooner than later. So,
Hey, Andy, this is John Speed. I've transitioned from 2 different navigation systems, and it was a little bit of pain, but I I didn't lose any drivers over it. Um, and I've transitioned people. I'm on Beans right now for my navigation. I'm going to switch to back to I'm going to switch back to eTruck. Um, and I don't suspect I'll have any problems with it.
Thanks, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, it hasn't been tragic.
It's not as scary as you
but,
think. You know what I'm saying? It's just
yeah.
Hey,
I
Andy.
think something
Yes.
too. Yep.
We have that we've been working on. We have like a driver's guide to time definites, which I think covers a lot of that kind of benefits and things like that you're kind of talking about. So I think what we just need to do internally is finish adapting that to these new specifications in the updated UI with eRoute and kind of put that stuff in it. And then I think we'll have pretty close to what you're looking for.
That would be great, and I think part of it is as Jeff said so well, explain to drivers that we're doing this because of our good friends at FedEx are requiring them to follow the route, the bouncing around and making all those bloody circles all over ground cloud and then going all over the freaking place. I think this is just going to be vastly superior than the ability for us to track them and the features that are on here. I think once they start using it, they're going to be at least as happy, but I believe happier than they are currently.
Hey, if you can hear me, there's something else. I just thank you, Mr. Speed. Got my hands on some information. And I'm looking for it real quick. There's some unusual FedEx form. I happened to find something in the brand new contract. And there's a mention of something in here, and I haven't gone through it. And Mr. Speed, thank you again. But let me read you something here. Customers, I guess, okay, so shit. How about making a non-run-on sentence? That'd be good. Anyways, you're telling FedEx that you're going to have your drivers provide timely and accurate package tracking information and ensuring that all activities and appearances are while providing services are professional and consistent with reasonable customer expectations. The appearance of the equipment, rental equipment, and scanners as provided in this agreement, and ISP's demonstrated commitment to superior customer service. Now, here you go, including with respect to ensuring personnel proficiency as set forth herein. They're finally
Following the route plan.
What?
Following the route plan.
They're gonna, it's now a contract, it's in the contract that the drivers are gonna have to, or you're gonna have to demonstrate that your personnel are proficient. What does that mean?
That's a pretty broad
It-
definition there.
I know, but what if a driver's circling a bunch of stops, going all over the place and can't do his time definites? Is that driver proficient in delivery methods?
Profi-
And Jeff, that's exactly what I meant. The ability for us to, if FedEx is holding us or has comments like this, we can just go back to the drivers. They understand that we have to do what FedEx asks of us. So even if it's even a little gray, that can be helpful in getting us to move over to ETB and why we're making the change, even if that's not really the whole reason, or maybe a little bit of a, a white lie, as it were.
Well, I mean, and I get it. You guys don't want to confront the drivers, but here's the thing. It's section 6.2 in the latest version of the operating agreement. You're gonna have to this is section duty to ensure superior customer service. And then if we can't, long story short, if your personnel are not proficient in delivery methods, then it's a material breach of your operating agreement. Yeah, it's gray, but I'm sure, I'm guarantee it's written that way. So
Yeah,
it
I'm
can
with
be.
you. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Jeff.
Mhm. So you got a guy out there, and for some reason he's got to use Fred's routing system, but he can't deliver a time definite package to save his life. Well, if you say, well, I can't tell him to do whatever because he doesn't like the new app and whatever, and they're going to say, well, your drivers aren't necessarily showing proficiency, so thank you.
OTC.
Yep. Yep. And that just happens to be time definite. I would think proficiency, this is damn interesting. Ensuring personnel proficiency. That could mean anything. That could mean they don't understand delivery methods.
That could be, how you organize your DRO as well, too. Think about that, your BC. Because if you've got stuff sequenced and you're just not routing your time definites properly as well too. I think it's going to be their way to force a dynamic DRO.
Oh man, what this is about, it's about getting these drivers to do what they're supposed to do. That's
And
what this
Andy,
is.
we also hope that with the new UI changes that we put in place, that it will make it that much easier for your drivers to see the difference and make the change. Because this UI is not that it's very similar to everything else that's out there, and you'll hopefully have less friction with making the change as well.
Yeah, ultimately, I just want to explain that it's not that we're not going to do it or that the drivers are so
No,
incredibly
you're
reticent.
okay. You're
but
good.
every little bit helps. And my feeling is, the more that we do, if 1 out of 38 or whatever our number is, 40, if we can get those couple of 3 pain in the tushes people to just make it easier. So I figured the more information we have, the better. But this is obviously superior, that you guys have put a lot of effort into. A lot of the questions that in the early versions were reasons to, well, I can't see the whole screen, or I can't, whatever their baloney stories were. You guys have eliminated just everything and made it better than what's even out there. So just my hat's off to you guys.
Well, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's very much appreciated.
Mr. Sprinkles put a question in the Q&A. He said, then each day needs to be saved so we can show the drivers followed the route plan.
Bob, isn't that already in the FCC with when you can see what the driver did the previous day? I thought you could see that they delivered in.
Yeah, you can see how they delivered. Yes, that's the service area status. Is the order in which they delivered.
won't have how it was routed, but you will have how your driver delivered it. So,
Correct.
Which you're
Is
right,
that
Ken.
something we could?
Uh,
Is that something we could save because we have how they ran it versus how it came out of the
Well,
how
you know
it, how
what,
it was manifested.
Ken, you're right. They ran it how they ran it. That's one thing. But if it came out of the DRO all whacked out, I mean, I guess there's an argument there. Like, I can't run it like you engineer it for me. So then if you show FedEx, the driver's not running it like it came out, then the question is, well, do you know how to use dynamic anchors in your DRO? I mean, yeah, I think I see where this new, it says a brand new line in the contract here. I think I see where this is going. Everybody wants to point fingers. Well, DRO and this and that. Well, I'll tell you what.
And so I know that like on my beans route, there's a archive. And does this one have an archive? You look up the previous day, see how the driver drove the route.
It doesn't need to because it's already in the.
It's
you
an
can-
SCC. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also in the FCC is the P&D manifest, and that is routed. That is the way it was routed. So you could always compare the two.
But I suspect FedEx doesn't. They're not going to care about anything as long as you make all your time definites and your services up to standard. But they're not going to look at how you drive.
Well, right. Yeah, they're not going to go hunt for a line.
They don't care.
Right. If you just provide service, then there's no need to go hunting for section 6.2 in your contract. But to your point, Andy, yeah, I mean, you could take a pager contract out there, driver being, say, look, guys, they're going to start making sure that you're following the route plan. And you can read that line. Just say, look, if it were up to me, you could do whatever the hell you want. But I can't do that anymore. If you want, I suppose you could do that.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm coming from. The more we have to have a conversation, I understand it's a little bit of a baloney thing, but it's each little piece just gets us over the hump and we lame X and go on from there.
Yep. Okay, sorry. I'm done.
a lot of great feedback today, and we appreciate this, guys, because your feedback is what has made this app what it is now. So absolutely appreciate everybody on this call, the questions, the feedback. So, and now we just got to get it released.
Yep, we're nipping and tucking some last minute things, and then we'll be putting it out there.
Yeah, somebody asked when, what, by June 1st, it better be, it probably looks like today, right now, it looks like very, 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 very soon.
Awesome.
Yeah, it better be out very soon, or just gonna have a discussion. Any other questions, or comments, or concerns, or feedback on anything you saw on here? As I did mention too, there are some other changes. The menu has changed, where they get to their settings, things like that has changed. Like I said before, the timekeeper has changed as well. I'm gonna go ahead and clock him out. And let's see what else has changed in here. The safety and operations training has changed as well. It was kind of hard for drivers to see what they were doing down here. They can go through all their different types of settings, their safety things down here, and they now have stats as well. Any other questions? right. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I will go ahead and let you all go. If you need anything at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to me here in eTruckBiz or any of us, honestly. If you have comments, concerns, suggestions for the software, as you guys have seen, a lot of the changes to the software, especially the driver app and things like that, have been from your guys' feedback and suggestions. And we take them very seriously because you guys are what drives the software and all of our solutions. So if I do not see you or talk to you before the end of the week, have a great rest of your weekend, and we hope to see you all next week. Have a great rest of your day.